Demetrious Johnson thinks Jake will beat AJ. And surprisingly, I do get what he's saying. I do get what he's saying. Do I think DJ's full of shit half the time? Yes. For this one, I will kind of agree with him. I do think that Jake has a good chance of beating AJ. Why do I think that? Well, because the same thing I said the other day when I said that Dana White has really good matchmakers, and that's why he doesn't make statements on fights until Tuesday when he meets with them, because his matchmakers are a lot smarter than him. They could give him a matchup that's all the way in left field he couldn't even consider or fathom, right? Now, I believe Jake Paul has the same type of matchmakers on his team who are going ahead and saying, listen, we got the AJ fight. You got the big overhand right. AJ's coming off a knockout loss with the overhand right? AJ's out of his prime, past his prime. You're entering your prime. You're the younger guy, he the older guy. Reaches are somewhat similar, right? I think that Jake has matchmakers who pick the most scariest matchup, but also the easiest at the same time. Does that make sense to you guys? At the same time. Bottom line too, I think that if Jake beats AJ, here's what I'll also say. I'll put it like this too in a different context. If Jake beats AJ, does he get my respect? Not really. Not really, because I think he picked this matchup. I think he picked it. I'm not necessarily going to respect Jake if he beats AJ. For the reasons that kind of Demetrious says. Now, I don't agree with everything DJ says, but I see what DJ's saying here. I've said this in the past. I said this when the fight got booked. How old is AJ? Let me look. And I'm going to keep saying this too, because I don't want what I'm saying to get twisted. I'm going to keep saying that Jake Paul is a dead man walking. Okay, let's not get this whole thing twisted up what I'm saying. I think Jake Paul is a dead man walking, right? But don't be surprised if Jake Paul beats AJ. Just don't be surprised. Because again, the matchmakers, Jake's matchmakers, they seeked out this opponent. So AJ got an 82-inch reach. His age isn't showing. Let me look on Wikipedia. Okay, so Joshua 36, Jake Paul 28. You boys feel me? 36 versus 28. 82-inch reach versus 76-inch reach. It's not the craziest. It is a 6-inch reach advantage, but it's doable. 28-year-old versus a 36-year-old. Also, what's Anthony Joshua coming off of? A knockout loss. Anthony Joshua is coming off a knockout loss in his last fight. So his chin's compromised. How did he get knocked out in his last fight? Well, a big overhand right. A big overhand right dropped him and put him out. What does Jake Paul have? An overhand right. Okay? So that's where I'm coming from with this. I'm going to say it one more time just so it's clear. Jake Paul is a dead man walking. I'm not rooting for Jake Paul to beat AJ necessarily. Not at all. I want AJ to beat that fucking ass. But like I've said multiple times, I will not respect Jake if he beats AJ at all. I won't, because I feel like he cherry-picked this matchup to fucking, because he thinks fans are more uneducated than we really are. So I'm trying to show that, look, we are educated. We know what you're doing, Jake, but you're still going to be a dead man walking. Oh, and another thing that I forgot to mention. Not only is AJ coming off a KO loss, right? AJ coming off a surgery. Is it starting to make sense to you boys? AJ coming off a surgery. AJ coming off a knockout loss. AJ lost all his belts, right? But what's Jake Paul going to sell you? Olympic gold medalist, former undisputed world champion, 2 weight classes above me, right? 5-inch reach or 5-inch height advantage, 6-inch reach advantage, right? But I hope you guys see these other things that I'm weighing in. Coming off a surgery, coming off a knockout loss, lost all of his belts, 36 years old, not undisputed anymore, well past the undisputed status. This isn't 2022. We entering the big 26. Okay, AJ is not who he once was. So everybody get that through your heads before this fight takes place, because we could be in for a huge upset. And I just want you guys to know why. So he got knocked out by Daniel Dubois in September of last year. September 2024, he got knocked out by Daniel Dubois. Okay? Which snapped a 4-fight win streak. Before that 4-fight win streak, he was coming off 2 losses to Usyk. Let's hear what DJ got to say to fucking Mr. O'Malley.
I think Jake could knock him out. Anthony Joshua has been knocked out by some weird-ass shots before. Andy Ruiz, Dubois knocked him out with a short overhand right? Yeah. Jake Paul can land one of those shots. He can. If Anthony Joshua doesn't get on his bicycle, start moving around, and fight Jake Paul like a pop, oh, you missed. Pop, like, use that range. Start hitting the body. Make Jake Paul work. Make him miss. Yeah, he can destroy Jake Paul, but I don't see that happen.
That's not really how AJ even fights, though, DJ. But okay.
I think he's going to try to prove a point. And you know what? Maybe my black ass don't know nothing. I don't know shit about boxing, right? But I feel that Jake Paul could potentially knock out Anthony Joshua. I'm just saying it. I think Jake could knock him out.
So there we go. I feel Jake Paul could knock out Anthony Joshua. Demetrious Johnson saying it. Now, DJ, AJ's more of a flat-footed boxer. He's not that bouncing guy you're talking about, right, with all that crazy footwork. He's kind of a plotter, right? So, I mean, based off that, you definitely think he's going to get knocked out. Because you think the style he normally fights with would get him finished. He got to switch up his whole style for Jake Paul? I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, everybody hating on DJ for this, though. Everybody mad at DJ. And speaking of Jake Paul, should we just listen to this one real quick? Deontay believes Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is a scripted fight. Now, we all know Deontay. You know, we all know Deontay. So take it with a grain of salt. But this is what Deontay got to say about it.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua is a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active, you know, and this is going to be the first time that we see Paul, you know, fighting an active fighter. You know what I mean? We seen the Mike Tyson, that was all fun, that was cute, you know what I'm saying? It's fun and games and stuff, but now you're dealing with a real professional, you know, and so we'll see how it ends up you know, like I said, I think it's scripted, but, you know, we're going to see. At the end of the day, I just want everybody to have fun. I want them to enjoy themselves because we risk our lives for others' entertainment and just go home safely to be able to have memories and say we did a great job.
Here's Jake Paul striking. I mean, Jake Paul's definitely improved, right? There's no taking away from him that he's improved. He looks really good. Compare this 2018 footage to 7 years later. Jake just spamming jabs in the first one. In the bottom one, people are asking if it's sped up. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. But if people are asking if it's sped up, that means Jake must look pretty good. And I think Jake looks pretty good in the bottom video. There you go. That's good work. That's good work from Jake.